Well, let's say goodbye to that.
Alright, so all that's off of there.
Got my logo
On
on
there. And then
as you can see, I have taken the Qualcomm out of here.
and sending it back.
The Qualcomm is inside this luxurious Dodge. Right there. Black box antenna, Qualcomm, all the cords, all the wires. Ready to go. Alright. So, yeah. I am leaving Schneider. If it's not a clickbait. I am leaving Schneider, taking my SFI truck with me. Now, I'm going to put a few videos out on my process that I'm going through to actually take my SFI truck and bring it over to the next carrier. I'm not going to put that information out there to what carrier I'm going to right now, but I am going. I've looked at multiple options of where to go, stuff like that. So there's multiple options that I had. I finally narrowed it down, and I've picked one. Now, the reason for me leaving Schneider has nothing to do with the people that I've dealt with there. The process there is very simple. It's a great program. You know, it's easy. It's so easy to pick and choose where you're going, stuff like that. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not so easy, but it is easier than most. Let's put that out there. As far as becoming an owner op, lease op, you know, it's an all-around good program. Now, my experience with Schneider has been great. You know, the ICA team that I led, or that I worked with, they were pretty cool. You know, I always bragged about the one guy that I had, because he would, you know, he'd let me know 2 days in advance. Hey, so such and such load's ready if you want to pick it up, FYI. Or let's say, you know, I had a noon pickup and my 10-hour break was probably going to be up at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, as soon as you get in the office, say, hey man, this load's ready to be picked up, FYI. What am I doing sitting here? You know, I just get up and go. So I like that about him. He was awesome. You know, but my main reasoning is to move on to the next level. You know, I have dealt with a lot of stuff as far as load cancellations. There's a lot of behind the scenes to what's going on over at Schneider that I can't really put out there because I'm not in the office. You don't know exactly what's going on. All you can make is assumptions. You just assume they're giving this load away. They're giving this, you know, whatever. You know, I wasn't planning on making this move so quick. But this past week I've rebooked my loads 3 times. Then, you know, I was supposed to do a 34-hour break. Then I was picking up a load, going up by the house. I was gonna stay the night, pick up out of the house. You know, I had a good week set up for next week. So I went and I moved over to where I was going to be taking my 34, the truck stop I was going to. Dropped my trailer at the shipper. They told me to give them the number for the load to see if it was, you know, ready yet. I said, well, I'm not really going to pick it up. It's just easier to get a parking spot. a bobtail rather than having a truck. And she's like, oh, well, just give me a number. I said, all right. I gave it to her. She said, well, that load's not even in our system. What? So called Schneider. They were like, wait a minute. They got a hold of somebody, said it was in the system. So I was like, okay. It just didn't make it to their, like, down to the second, the guard shack or whatever. All right. So I dropped the trailer and moved over to the truck stop and get a message 30 minutes later. Hey, this load has been pushed out for 2 days. We're taking you off of it. So then I had to rebook my loads again. It just, so then I booked my load and said, all right, whatever. So I booked the load running from Saturday out to Monday and did a 34. Well, did my 34, delivered the load, then I was going to my next pickup, and then I had up until like Thursday planned out. Now this is Monday morning. Get a message that the load I was supposed to pick up and do on Tuesday was being pushed out. Or no, they canceled it. And this is CHEP pallet. Now, this is funny because the load I was doing Monday, I'm going home, okay? And then, I wasn't planning on going home, but I was going to Amsterdam, and then I was picking up in Gloversville, going out to Rochester. Like, I was staying in that area. And so the load canceled, apparently, and there was nothing else for Tuesday. And the funny thing about that is it was CHEP pallets. I used to run a pallet business, okay? CHEP is the largest pallet company in the United States, okay? CHEP used to come to our facility pretty much demanding that every pallet that is on the ground that is blue block pallet be returned to them. They patented that pallet. They want that pallet back. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Like, me having dealt with them personally on a business level, you can't. Alright, sorry about that. I ran out of memory on my phone. But yeah, so, after that happened, that load canceled, that was that was pretty much to me a sign that said, do it now, So I called Schneider, told him I was leaving. Well, I didn't tell him then, I already had it in the works, but I told him that today would be the last day instead of, farther down the line. They told me that was perfectly fine, and I've given them good notice, stuff like that, prior to this, and that I'd be welcome back anytime. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad experience, it's just, there was just a lot more to it than you really realize. Not as far as, not for the trucking and the business. I mean, I knew all that stuff coming in, that it was going to be hard, whatever. But what I'm saying is them being a mega carrier, that Tuesday, when that load canceled, you get on the board and there's nothing. There was nothing in my area or the area that I was going to within 100 miles, 120 miles, that I could have done. There was nothing, and there was a bunch of stuff for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but, me being in the Northeast and everybody else being in the Northeast that runs out here, they know the game out here. It's like, you have to be on, you have to be almost a week ahead to actually get all the good loads or anything, and at least 3 to 5 days ahead just to get a load. And that's because they have a lot more dedicated company stuff out here. It's more for the company dedicated out here, and that's it. So that's why I don't have any OCs out here. They've only got Carlisle. and that's in Pennsylvania. Carlisle is a great freight area, but once you get up into New York, Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, the only thing they have up there is company driver stuff. So, and it's all dedicated. So, overall, it was a good experience. I liked my time here. It just got, I just want to go to the next level, and that's what I'm doing. I do agree with everything that Dre said about the SFI truck. I only have to deal with that for the next 3.5 months for the MMA account. Then I opt out of it. So if you are looking to come over to Schneider and do the IC program in an SFI truck, definitely do a 1 year. Don't do a 3 year, because then you're in that maintenance account for the duration of your first lease. So there's pretty much no way to get out of it. Everybody keeps saying don't participate. You have to. You're not getting that truck. You can sit there and, oh, it's my truck. No, it's not. So they won't let you have that truck. You have to do it for the duration of your first lease. Then you can opt out of it. So do it for a year. Opt out of it when you renew, if you renew that truck. Okay? So keep that in mind, and look for some new videos. I'm going to do the process of what it takes to take an SFI truck to another carrier. So be safe out there and have a good one.